today's video, we're gonna do something different. So here's my adorable BichPoo Pucci, and I'm having a little issue with Pucci because all of the harnesses that I purchased for her, her small harnesses, she literally slips out of them and they don't fit her, and they're actually an extra small. So of course, whenever faced with the problem, I make whatever it is that I need to fix this problem. All right, so that's what we're gonna do today, right, Pucci? We are going to, enough licky, we gotta get to work. We are going to make her harness, and if this harness is actually successful and it comes out great, what I'll do is I'll follow up with another video with a printable pattern so you can make your own in the event that you have the same problem that I have with finding a harness that fits your little poot. And I have this fabric that reminds me of Pucci the designer, and it's really colorful and I love it. And I've actually created some other things here on my channel with that fabric, so I have it left over. And since her name is Pucci, really, hey, are you tired? And since her name is Pucci, and you know, nothing to do with the designer when I named her, but I think Pucci needs kind of like a Pucci inspired harness, right? So like I always say, let's go, let's make it. Are you ready? Are you ready to make? All right, let's go. And stick around to the end if you love my puppy Pucci, so you can see more of her fun stuff and where you can follow her. Now, because I do things my way, I use this white ribbon to sort of measure around Pucci to know about how much fabric I would need. So I'm just roughly cutting out a square here. I'm going to use this harness just as a guide, but it is definitely too big for her, so I'm going to make sure I make it a bit smaller than that. And now I'm drawing in the 1/4 inch seam allowance that I'm going to be sewing with. So once I have it this way, what I do is I fold it in half, so when I cut it out, my harness is somewhat symmetrical, even though I'm doing this entire thing by eye. And now I'm going to sew around this, leaving an opening so that I can flip it right side out. But of course, I'm going to pin it together first. And after I've sewn it around, what I like to do is cut these notches on the curves so that when I do turn it right side out, the curves turn much nicer. Enjoying my DIY puppy tutorial? Why don't you subscribe so you can stay up to date with all my latest videos? And I made it very easy for you with a link right there on the top right of the screen. Next, I'm giving it a good press, and I made sure I turned in the open area there, but I'm also making sure that the seam is pushed out all the way to the edge there. And now I'm going to give it a top stitch all the way around, and there it is. That was quick. And I'm going to give it another press just to set in those stitches. And here I go, measuring it around Pucci. Yeah, it's so hard to get her to sit still sometimes. And now I'm roughly drawing in where I'm going to cut out for her cute little legs to fit. And then you'll see I fold it in half to trace the negative space to get the same shape on the other side. So I've gone to my sewing machine and actually did a zigzag stitch around the openings there so that the fabric doesn't fray. And I have these fun sort of jewelry pieces that really coordinate so well with the fabric, so I'm going to use them instead of metal hoops. So now what I'm doing is making the loops that are going to sort of hold these hoops onto the harness. Again, eyeing it as usual. I'm going to sew this fabric hoop over my plastic ring here so that the hoop does not move or fall out. And now I did that to both of them, and now I'm going to sew them right into place here. So now what I'm going to do is place Velcro here, and I happen to have this industrial strength one. It's not what you need, but it's what I have, so I'm going to use it, and I'm just going to cut it so that it fits right there in place, and when I flip it over, I'm going to trim the other side. Once I have it down, because it is adhesive, I'm going to just go over it with my sewing machine so it doesn't fall off when I wash this in the washing machine and dry it. And that's it, I finished this harness, so let's try it on Pucci, which I think she's actually sitting still now. And look at that, it totally fits her, and it's so cute. It's like a designer harness. How adorable is it? If you enjoyed seeing Pucci, why don't you go over to TikTok and check out her account, Pucci the BichPoo, where you can see more of her cute little shenanigans she always gets into. She's just adorable. Anyway, if you really enjoyed this tutorial, why don't you also check out my other doggy DIY tutorials right up here on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.